Hi, this is David.Rosen, and this is another episode of If I Was the Mayor. Imagine New York City without tons of homeless people. Right now, and especially during 2020, we have more homeless people than it seems we've ever had before. It's really upsetting. I don't think anyone, including the people themselves, are thrilled with, these living conditions. As money has fled the city, it's become almost exacerbated. I don't have to go into the details of what that's like, but if you're a New Yorker, if you've been here, you know what it's like. I used to live in the West Village, pretty nice area on 13th Street between 7th Avenue and Greenwich. And on the corner was a church that had a lot of homeless services. The weird thing was I had a pretty good social life, but after a while, I knew about as many homeless people as I had friends in the neighborhood. Most of my other friends lived in other neighborhoods, and there were so many homeless people in the West Village that I knew them. I literally saw them every day and knew them. Homelessness is not something we should just accept. They're not people who can easily rejoin society, just get a job, just pay these high rents. They're oftentimes mentally ill, they need medication. They're out of society. They have issues that has impaired them enough that they are living in squalor, addiction issues, to just have this sort of high-minded, high-nosed idea that they should just get a job and that's going to fix it, won't solve the problem. And as a result, we really have a problem as a city. Over the last year, we've had tremendous uptick in crime by, in many cases, homeless people, especially in public transportation. Before the mayor shut down the trains at night, we've had the trains who have been taken over by homeless people sleeping in them. When there's bad weather, the cold weather, there's tons of homeless people sleeping in the trains. So homelessness shuts down our transportation system. It ruins our housing areas in many ways. And I'm not trying to demonize the homeless people, but I am saying that we can't ignore it. We need a solution, and there is a solution. Like I said, lived in the West Village, and then I moved to Greenpoint in Brooklyn, and that was where my good friend lived. He lived next door. I had a great deal on a home, and there was much less homeless people there. And I gotta tell you, despite the fact that my commute was longer, this made me happy. I didn't like seeing and smelling homeless people every day. However, a few months later, there started to be, a certain panhandler I would see on the train every day. And then after a while, there was a lot of homelessness in Greenpoint because a lot of people with money moved to Greenpoint and the homeless people came to Greenpoint. Now, there is even worse homelessness in places like California, where they have whole skid rows, tent cities, and even in other countries, India, Brazil. And just being polite about it and pretending it doesn't exist isn't a solution. Did you know that the city of New York publishes real-time statistics on homelessness? And there's only 55,000 people sleeping on the streets right now. And while that's an incredible and awful amount, if we were to try to create beds for 55,000 people, which we are trying to do, we could succeed. We can find housing for 55,000 people, some way, some form. We can feed and shelter 55,000 people. These people, once upon a time, had services through mental health facilities, which are no longer existing. We need to restore that. It's vital for our city's health, and we can do it. To recap, to eradicate homelessness, we need to restore funding for mental health facilities and rebuild them where necessary, support the supportive housing movement and give them as many resources as they need, and third, in partnership with that, really have a dialogue with multifamily unit owners. So instead of occupying the Lucerne Hotel by the Museum of Natural History in a very high-end area, we can dissipate homelessness in a way that has less impact on tourism and home values and more of a positive impact on the homeless people themselves, who have a quality of life and pride by having a clean, nice place to live. Thank you. This is David.Rosen, and this has been another episode of If I Was the Mayor.